Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 13 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing 20 Halloween-themed Cricut projects in 20 days. 10 of the projects are designed by me and 10 are guest designer projects from some of my crafting friends. We're back to my designs again today and more layered papercraft fun. I have a feeling that this project is going to be one of the most popular ones because it's gnomes. These two gnomes are all ready for trick-or-treating, dressed in their adorable vampire and cat costumes. I love them, they're so cute. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23. If you're already registered, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Halloween Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the gnomes into Cricut Design Space. I've already loaded in the female gnome, as you can see here, so let's get the male one in too. Open up Design Space and start a new project, and then go into Upload over on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or you can drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then within there you've got your female and your male gnome. I'll look in the male one, and then the file to upload is the ones that start SVG in the file name. And when you click and drag them in, they should look like this, so you see the completed picture with all of the pieces one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you see all the bits next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file type. So if that's the case, click Cancel down here on the bottom and try again and make sure you choose the ones which start SVG. But this one's looking good, so I will click Upload. And then when he's in my recent uploads, click again to get that green border and then press Add to Canvas. And here he is. Don't they look cute together? Because I'm going to be cutting these out at the same time, I just want to make sure that similar colours are the same on the male and the female gnome. For example, it looks like the skin tone on this gnome is slightly different to this one. This one looks a bit pinker, but I'll probably use the same bit of card. So let's click Colour Sync over here and have a look. I'll close up some of these that only appear on one of the gnomes. And I can see, actually, I am going to need to do a little bit of work here. Because this is one of the pumpkins, and this is the other pumpkin. It's a slightly different colour at the moment, which you know because it's in a different section down here. And that means it's going to cut this from a different sheet of card. And I want it on the same, so let's drag this up until I get to the other dark pumpkin layer, and then let go with the mouse. And now you can't actually really see the difference because they were so close in colour, but now these are exactly the same, which means it will cut from my same sheet of orange cardstock. And I'll do that for the lighter one too. Okay, we'll close them up. And then here are my two skin tones. So you see they are slightly different at the minute. So I can drag a whole group of one of them into the other. And now they'll all be the same when it's cut out. And there any other bits that are so similar, I want to do them from the same bit of card. I think that's actually it. So I'll go back to the layers view. Okay, to resize the gnomes, if you want to, click on them. Make sure this padlock icon is closed. If it's open, click on it to close it. And then you can resize the gnomes by typing into either the width or the height box. Press enter, and then the other measurement will change in proportion. And how tall is he? He still looks a bit small compared to her. Let's make him a bit bigger. There we go. Now they kind of match. Maybe she needs to be a little smaller. It's deceiving because his hat makes him look really tall. There we go. I like how that looks. When you're happy with how everything is looking, click Make It to begin the cut process. This will separate out all the different colours. You can change the paper size in here, and you can also click and drag to move things about to take up less space on the cardstock. And you do need to do that for every single colour. When you're finished, click Continue to connect to your Cricut machine and follow the on-screen instructions to get everything cut out from cardstock, and then we'll see how to stick together our male and female trick-or-treating gnomes. Here's my female gnome cut out. I will also show you how to stick the male gnome together in this video, but we'll do this one first. We need to start at the bottom and work our way upwards, but what I like to do when making layered designs is to just get everything in position first, to check I'm happy with all the colours and that I haven't missed anything along the way. I'll be sticking my gnomes together with a combination of glue and foam squares. The glue I like to use is called Collall, and I really like it because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like some glues can do. Another great alternative is Bearly Art Glue. I put my glue into these needle tip applicator bottles, which have got super thin nozzles on them to make it easier to add the glue to my project. The foam squares I'm using are from Dot and Dab, and they look like this. My ones are quite small, which is great, but if yours are bigger, that's absolutely fine. You can just cut them smaller if you need to with a pair of scissors. Alright, so as we need to start at the bottom, I'm going to move these pieces away. Try and keep them vaguely in order. And then we've got this as our bottom layer, and this one will go on top. And this will be a foam square layer. Going to give it some dimension right from the start. There aren't very many pieces to this gnome, so she's going to be quite quick to put together. The vampire gnome, on the other hand, is going to take a little bit more time. It's a little bit like the teddy bears from earlier in this Halloween craft countdown, only that time it was the other way around. It was the male one that was really easy to stick together, and the female one had the more pieces. When you're adding your foam, make sure you've got a good amount in the middle as well as around the edge, because if there's nothing in the middle to keep it nice and stable, you might find that it kind of bends downwards a little bit and your layered effect won't be as effective. Your effect won't be effective. That was not the best description ever, but I'm sure you know what I mean. I'm peeling the tops off of these foam squares now so that I can get all of that stickiness revealed. Right, she is rather. Line her up and then just gently drop down, because then it isn't actually stuck yet. So if I needed to, I could move this if it wasn't quite lined up right, but that looks pretty good to me. So I'll push down to get it stuck. Next up is the solid layer of her hair, which is another foam square layer. I'll stick her on here. It's a bit hard to line this one up because there's not an awful lot to go on. I'm going to use her. No, that was wrong. The bottom of the hair. There we go. That's what I can use. You can see the bottom of the hair and also the top of her hand on that right hand side. There we go. Okay, the detail of her hair is next, which is a glue layer. This is where these needle tip bottles come in really handy, because this is very thin around here. Alright, that one on there. Beautiful. Okay. And then I've got, let's do her chest with some foam. And her feet. Oops, I've stuck the foam to everywhere, apart from where it was supposed to go. Go on, stick, stick. Right, there we go. One. And 2. I'll also do her nose with some foam. Let's just cheat and put it straight on there. Her nose. And finally onto her little trick-or-treat bag. The first layer will be a foam layer. This is the black one. There we are. And then the other layers will be glued. I had such a nightmare with this orange card. You can kind of see it's torn a little bit around the face. I tried so many times. And it was just something about this orange card that did not want to cut. I could try it on any other colour and it was fine. So it's not the file is fine. It was just that particular brand of card clearly did not want to be cut. Very annoying, but hopefully you won't be able to tell too much when it's all put together. I glued that one on, and finally I've got her hand and just a little bit of foam on there to stick that on. There we are. And then our female trick-or-treat gnome is all finished, so I suppose we'd better move on and do her friend. Here's our vampire gnome with his funky back cloak and glasses. Once again, we'll start at the bottom. So let's move these pieces apart. You can see already he's got lots more bits in him than the female version. So here's my very bottom piece. This is the one to go on top, and I think you could probably get away with either gluing or foaming, but I want to add some extra dimension, so I'm going to foam this bit. Okay, so let's line this up. Got a little bit of glue on there, which is odd because I haven't glued this layer. Drop it down and then push to stick. The layer on top that shows the bat pattern will be glued on. It's exactly the same outline as the layer underneath, so it's easy to know where to put it. Like that. Next up, we've got the solid layer of his beard, which is another foam square layer. Line that up and push to stick. The detail layer of his beard is thankfully a glue layer. There, and now we've got his hat. starting with this one, and I'm going to glue these because he's already got quite a bit of depth in him, and it's still got to have the moustache and the glasses. So I don't want his hat looking like it comes out too far from the cloak at the back, which is why I'm choosing to glue these ones. And I'll also glue the detailed back layer on top too. Fabulous. Okay, I'll do his pumpkin next, and I've noticed something, which is this would look better if I did another pumpkin shape but in black, so that you can foam the black piece and then it will show the eyes through better. So your file that you have, you'll have an extra piece of pumpkin in black, just like we had on the female gnome. We had that black bit. I missed it out on this one by mistake, but it would look better with it. So I'm going to add that in. So yours will be a little bit different to mine now, because what you would be doing is using foam squares on that black piece, and then you would glue this orange one on top of that. But because I don't have that, I've used my foam on there. And it doesn't look too bad with the depth in the eyes, but it would look better with the black right behind it. Okay, and this one's glued on top. And then a bit of foam for the hand. Like that. Then just his moustache and glasses to go. The solid layer of the moustache, this one, I'll use some foam. You can still see his little vampire teeth poking out the bottom. Glue on the detail layer of the moustache. There we go. Alright, his glasses I will glue because I don't want them out that too far from the hat, and I think if they were glued too, it would just look quite unrealistic. It'd be too far from the rest of the hat. You're still going to get a little pop from the nose in a minute. Gnome nose. Right, there's that bit. He looks so funky with his sunglasses. Alright, last piece is his nose, which will be a foam layer. He looks a bit funny at the moment. Bit sunburnt. Not good for a vampire. Oops. There we are. Vampire gnome. Finished. There's all the little pieces in him. And when you put the two together, they look just lovely. And for even more trick-or-treating fun, don't forget the teddies from earlier in the countdown. We've got our devil teddy and the witch teddy. So all together, you've got 4 little fancy dress trick-or-treat characters. And I just love how cute they all are together. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make layered gnome paper crafts for Halloween. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and Halloween fun. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 14 of the Halloween Craft Countdown. Don't forget the link to get the cut files for today's project is craftwithsarah.com/HCC23, but they are only free to download for 24 hours after this video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!